The harsh realities of the economic downturn we are currently experiencing has unfortunately brought tangible change to museums in the 21st century. Endowments are down, corporate support is waning, membership drives and individual giving are lower. Yet with fewer resources than ever, museums are struggling to meet the need for solace, comfort, or just plain entertainment for stressed out audiences. On a national level, museum attendance is up, but the ticket price at the gate usually is less than 10% of operational funding. We are seeking ways of doing more with less. And interestingly, on a positive note, the creative sector is one of the fastest growing parts of the economy, in fact, growing 3 times faster than all the rest of the economy. So, a positive note. Art professionals often complain that neither their communities nor their government leaders fully appreciate the value of museums in the community. The National Museum of Women in the Arts is a terrific example of how a museum can stimulate neighborhood revitalization. Originally built as a Masonic temple, when the Masons abandoned the building in the mid-20th century, it was sold to someone who turned it into a porno movie theater. When the founder of the Women's Museum purchased the building, Washingtonians thought it was the worst possible location. But after the museum opened, other businesses moved in, and today that neighborhood is a vibrant heart of DC's downtown neighborhood. Another bright example of buildings changing a community is the new Taubman Museum, designed by Randall Stout, our panelist this afternoon. This contemporary design and studying facility has energized Roanoke, Virginia's downtown and become a signature for community pride and increased tourism. Investing in art museums is just good business. I firmly feel that this will be true for Westmont's Art Museum as well. Our new museum will be the Montecito Community Art Museum, offering a rich litany of cultural opportunities. We will schedule quality exhibitions and market them aggressively to our community and beyond. And let's not forget the integral part that technology will have in reaching our community, especially a well-designed web page that can be the cornerstone of marketing to draw visitors to our new museum. Another trend in the 21st century is planning exhibitions and collecting art in unexpected but emerging areas. While at the High, we hosted a large retrospective of Henry Ossawa Tanner, the first professional and successful African-American artist in American art. Touring our docents through the exhibition, I was asked, why have I never heard of this artist before? This was a question I was also frequently asked at the Women's Museum as well. Racial minorities, women artists, and other marginalized groups of artists have been written out of art history, and it is our job to reclaim them in the 21st century. And this was certainly true of outsider art. It emerged as a rich field for interpretation in the last decade of the 20th century. And although we're still unsure what to call it, folk art, naive art, outsider art, primitive, it has now become a mainstream area for collecting and exhibiting around the world. So what will those areas be in the new century? As we explore trends in the headlines, artists will be there to interpret them for us. For example, 2 women that I met in Iceland are responding to creative ideas about recycling by using codfish skins to create lighting fixtures. And Josephine Ingram, who teaches as an adjunct here at Westmont, is certainly in touch with the changing tastes of Americans' youth and surf culture as she designs skateboards. Yet another example can be found in next season's exhibition schedule here at Westmont, where we are planning to show a new generation of Australian Aboriginal artists. These dreamings, as the paintings are called, are a new brand of art as the Aboriginal communities have only been painting them since the mid-1980s. Many things that museums learned in the last century need to stay front and center. Quality and excellence will always be the starting point for museums. But we need to think globally in planning exhibitions and programs. We need to be addressing issues that engage our students. And it is very refreshing that college students come to us with such open and creative minds, fully expecting that change can and will happen in our world. At the Women's Museum, I had the opportunity to interview Ruth DeGolia, who, while a student at Yale University, started a company called Mercado Global, a company which created United States markets for handmade goods by women in Guatemala and Mexico. By giving women a source of income, their lives improved, and so did the lives of their children. Likewise, MIT graduate student Zahra Ali and her team spearheaded the Gonzala Project, which experimented with new building materials for houses in cold mountainous climates like those in Pakistan or Peru. They invented a new insulation product made with indigenous plants, and this product not only makes domestic life more comfortable, it also creates jobs for local residents. They now can manufacture this affordable insulation locally. Now, these are only two examples of students using the arts as a vehicle for social activism. Seeking social justice through the arts is a challenge to our Westmont Art Department, our students, and our art museum. So, in conclusion, let me quote from a theorist of religion and visual culture, S. Brent Plate, who really reserves a special place for artists in our culture. He says artists depict the world in ways that may seem strange to many others, yet also in ways that have made us look again at the world around us. For whatever reasons, biological or imaginative, artists provide a renewed view of the world and allow humans to generate new meanings. I see his comments as relative to art museums in the 21st century. Art museums can transform communities by opening our eyes. It is my hope that the Adams Center for the Visual Arts will be a locus where artists present new ideas, where curators interpret their avant-garde ideas, and visitors take away new meanings that enhance our lives. Thank you.
Little John Cage moment there. I've been asked to give a brief response to Judy's talk, after which time we'll open it up for questions from the floor. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Larson for this address, which lays out our scope and our task in a much larger context with all of the wisdom and experience that she brings to us. She's already brought new eyes and perspectives to what we do here, and we look forward to much more of that in the future. She's also already put in very long hours and has been just a full participant in the life of the department already. And while all of that has been happening, has launched 3 spectacular shows during this school year already. So my first thanks on this very festive occasion, of course, go to Dr. Larson. And then our thanks, my thanks, go to you. And of the many themes that were woven through Dr. Larson's lecture, I'm going to single out the theme of you, the people who literally made this day happen and made it possible. So I'm going to circle back to you as members of the Santa Barbara community and you as members of the Westmont community to just say a couple of words about what I think is happening here today, which is astounding. So on the one hand, the arts have been on the rise for the last 25 years in the United States in general. The National Endowment for the Arts has been tracking this, and Dane Goodman brought it to our attention, the 2005 study, Artists in the Workplace. You can download a PDF form from the NEA website. Is full of interesting information. For example, and this is from another NEA survey, Public Participation in the Arts, taken in 2002. 75% of the population surveyed engaged in an artistic activity or performance. 75% of those surveyed know a professional artist or a serious amateur artist. 25% live with a self-identified artist. And 40% created a work of visual art or purchased an original artwork within the last 5 years.